which we have been discussed yesterday, and today we are going to plan for further SDLC models, so which we have it, so we wanted to proceed with the further models. Now, yesterday we have been discussed multiple SDLC models. What are the other SD models apart from this one? As we know, the first it comes with the waterfall, then it wanted to go with the prototype, then it would be going with incremental and or iterative. Then we wanted to talk about RAD. Then we wanted to talk about V, and then we wanted to talk about Agile. So these are the models which we wanted to talk about it. So wantedly, I'm keeping out the spiral model. So this is not very popular, but it came into the market for a very short time and then it vanished because of a lot of disadvantages and the complexities in implementations of this one. So always we will exclude this one because it makes you to confuse with the other models. But this is what we are going to discuss in detail on the SDLC models for this one. So now, yesterday we have been discussed what is the importance of this one. So why we need to understand on this and how these particular things work. So for these particular three questions, so we wanted to talk about it and then we wanted to proceed further. Okay. So now, what is prototype model? Please raise your hands and then whomever I wanted to ask, I'll ask them. Okay. Okay, Sai Dharani, go ahead. So what is prototype model? Sai Dharani, you're there. Unmute yourself and can you talk? Pravalika? Pravalika? Naveen? Yes, can you unmute yourself and say, if you don't know, at least you can say that I don't know.
Sorry, Krish. Yeah, in prototype model, like as far as my understanding, like in prototype model, instead of directly going and building the software, they'll work on prototype until it gets the best. I mean, until they get the confidence that we can go ahead and build the software, they'll work on prototype. That's what I have understood. Is it?
Okay. So Khalil, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes. Prototype means
The prototype model is this model is used to when the customers don't know the exact requirements.
I'm getting a lot of distraction. So can you go on mute?
When the customers don't know the.
See guys, please make sure, because it is distracting for all others. So when you're speaking, there are a lot of background noise it is coming. See, everyone connected with their headsets. If that sounds makes that really, it will be irritate for us. So please make sure, if I'm saying that go on mute, so please go on mute, because you have a lot of background noise. Okay, Khalil Ahmed, go ahead.
Yeah, prototype means if you want to meet our requirements output, before we are going to test like the requirement is matched to the exact output or not. So, for suppose example, as a we want to buy some laddus, before that requirement is we test something piece like it's match our requirement or not. Before we are going to test, that's like
Excellent, good. I think you have been taking the same example which we have been given in the previous sessions. But yeah, let me fill out what we meant by this particular prototype model. Usually, I'll be giving multiple examples on this one. So now let's take this one. For an example, you wanted to buy a car, because that Ladu's examples and all other things we have been given in the previous session. So I just wanted to try out with a new example, maybe stupid example, but still it would might help you to know it very better. So now you wanted to buy a car. Okay. So now you wanted to buy an SUV vehicle. Okay. So so now when you wanted to buy this SUV vehicle, directly you will go and buy a particular vehicle, or you will search in the market which vehicle is good in terms of the look, in terms of the in terms of the mileage, and in terms of the seaters. So you'll be doing certain analysis, and then you also do the test drive, and you do the test drive, and then you will buying a car. Without doing a test drive, will you buy a car? Or
No.
without doing this analysis, will be doing a particular thing?
No.
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 So now,
Yes,
what it
sir.
gives you? What? Why you do the test drives? So it gives you the confidence and rest. Yeah. So when I'm driving, I have my driving comfort. So now when I'm buying with this particular manual or automatic, so now how this particular automatic structure is working, and what are the features of the car, and how it is working. So now before you buying this all, so you'll be making sure that all the things are get set ready, and then you're going to buy that. See, you will be doing three, four vehicles. You'll be doing the test drives, and then after this particular three, four vehicles, then you feel that hey, this might be fitting for me. Now you have Safari, or you will be having the Land Cruiser, or you will be having the XUV 700 or 500. So now you'll be going for all these particular vehicles, and then you'll be driving it, and then see that what is a comfort, because it's you're going to invest 40 lakhs or 45 lakhs to get that particular vehicle. So now when it is you're investing that a huge amount on that particular vehicles, so you will be testing that, and you'll be looking at hey, what are the features of the Fortuner? So now whether it have the complete auto features are there or not, and what would be the driving convenience, and what would the middle seat convenience, and what would be the last row convenience. So now you will be understanding for this all, and how the luggage carrier will be there. So how many liters of fuel be having it, and what would the fuel capacity, what would be the mileage, and you drive that, and then once you have been comfortable, then you'll be going to proceed further with that one. Okay, so this would be one example. Then I'll be giving you with another example. Usually for our marriages will be, or okay, whatever the occasion it might be. So we'll be having you wanted to fit a salwar kamisa, or you wanted to fit a suit, so which you wanted to fit for us. So now we will be buying a costly linen. We wanted to go with the linen suit, and you'll be giving means you'll be bringing the cloth, and you're giving to a tailor. Okay, so we'll be giving it for the company tailor. So you'll be asking him, hey, these are the fittings which you need to have it, and then this is a model. So first you'll be selecting that particular model, and then you would be giving him that particular instructions. Hey, then he means he will try to fit that, and then so this would be like a waist, you will be having it, and this would be your shoulders, and this would be your V cut, you'll be getting it, and then this is how the suit would look like. This would be like a parallel, and you wanted to try with the another suit, so that I'll give you a sample, so that you can see that sample fitting. So this is how the sample fitting will be there. So you'll be wearing that particular sample. On the sample, he will take that particular measurements, and then he will try to fit or stitch that particular suit. So on this particular prototype, then he will try to create the new suit for you. So this is how this works, right? The same way in the software also, we will be looking for this particular prototype model. So prototype model, so now why this comes into the picture, so you can understand by the advantages and disadvantages of this one. So prototype model. So I think this will gives you a good example. So by seeing this particular diagram, see for this one, usually we have been given this particular URL. So you can see all these particular models here. So these particular models you can see here, and then you can prepare as well and as best as possible. Okay, so now prototype model, what it will do is you can click rather than me drawing there. So the picture is already available. So that's the reason I was perfectly wanted to take this diagram. Here you'll be having the requirement gathering. As usual, you can imagine that the tailor shop, or for an example, a laddu shop. So you wanted to buy a lot of sweets. Now, when you wanted to buy that sweets, so first You'll give, hey, can you give me a sample so that I can eat the sample and then I'll buy 10 kilos or 20 kilos. So now without eating, see, you will making sure that whether the sweet is fresh or not, right? So we will eat that and then we'll buy that, right? So now that is how we will be taking it up. So we will be giving a requirement and then getting that particular quicker decisions. What we do is we'll present it to the client. So now what we do is we present to the client, and the client will go through that particular thing. Hey, these are the changes which I wanted to have it. And means actually what the customer will try to do is he will try to make a particular evaluation on this particular process, and he'll say that no, I think you need to stitch some more tight here, or you need to have some more length here, or you need to reduce the length here. So we'll be giving the particular feedbacks to him, right? Or the best example for this one to understand prototype very clearly, the haircut example. So now for an example, if you go for a saloon shop, so now you'll be having that, hey, I need to have some spikes. Not really now the people are using it, but in at 2000s that was the fashion. Can you have the spike cut? Now that should be like a 1.5 inch exactly on the top, and then on the sides it should be like a 1 inch, and then when it comes to the leveling of beard, it should be coming around 2 with a trimmer. You need to do it, and then leveling with 1, and then coming to the 2 and 3.5 at the end. So this is how you need to trim me my beard and then trim my hair. You're giving all your requirements, right? And based upon that, what the immediately what they will try to do, he will cut that, and then he will ask you, sir, is it okay? Is it what the length which you are looking for? Then you'll say, hey, no, you cut some more little. Then once again he'll be doing it. Now if you see that, that is what it was happening here also. Now first we will be having the requirement gathering. So now here you'll be having this particular requirement gathering. The same thing you are seeing it here, right? So the complete requirements, it will be gathered in this particular phase. And based upon this one, they will quickly try to build a prototype for you. Means he will cut and then ask, sir, is it this one? Then what he will do, the customer will do the evaluation process. So he will say that, okay, no, I think you need to do some more small changes. Then once again, he will refine that one based upon the suggestions. Once again, he will take it. And once again, if you see here, the arrow marks, this would be like a circular pattern. So means, so first they take the requirements, create that one, means take the decision to do that, and create a prototype, present to the customer, then do get the suggestion, and then once again doing it. So now if it is done, then if the customer says that, okay, so I think you are done with the, means my haircut with is like 1.5 inch on the top, so it is good. Now you can do on the sides. Now that particular thing he has been confirmed. Now what it would be done, so here you can see that it is accepted by the customer. Then it will go to the design phase, implementation phase, testing phase, and handover and the development, handover and the maintenance phase. So this is how the project will run. Now you can see it, right? The same thing. So requirement gathering and analysis will be done. And here, this is the extra step which it would be happening for the prototype model. So that's how, means now with this one, what are the advantages which you wanted, which you are seeing here? What are the advantages which you are looking at here?
Customer satisfaction.
The most important thing which you are able to find it out is the customer satisfaction. Now, the customer, see now, even though that's a worst haircut, but I have been asked for it. Now I
After
can't blame.
satisfying the
So now,
customer,
rather than this particular satisfaction, see now, what is this customer satisfaction is we are satisfying the ego of customer. Frankly speaking, that working for multiple huge projects, we know that that's the stupidest thing which we are trying to do, stupidest functionality which we are developing it and testing it. But still, the customer on the ego basis, he will be asking it. If you go against him, he will argue to the peak that he also knows that it is the stupidest thing. Still, whatever customer asks, we need to deliver him. That's it. That is our job, right? As the service based
yes,
companies. So now what the customer asked for, we need to give him. That's it. So now the most important thing is customer will not blame us in the last. So now in the waterfall model, you just imagine that all the requirements has been given. There is no frequent intervals of inspection. So now where the inspection will be coming? So here it will comes once, because in the waterfall model, after each and every a layer. So it completes one, then it will go for the next phase. When it completes one, it goes to the next. In the maintenance, then the customer will be involving it. In the middle, there might be inspecting it, but they not get the complete product. But here what we do is we will be giving him a quicker feedbacks will be getting it. So now this quicker feedbacks will obviously help us, right? So now we'll be asking it, right? So now after, just take the example. After a complete haircut, if you're asking, hey sir, this is what the haircut which we asked for, then he will say that, stupid, I didn't ask you this, why you given to me? But if you're asking for, he cuts 2 times and then asks, sir, is this the way you wanted? Okay, now he will say, no, now you have been given 1.5 inch, right? Now you need to cut only 1 milli-centimeter, you need to cut. He will not do anything, just he will do the sound. And then he'll say, sir, now is it okay? And then we'll say, yes. See, whether he cuts or not, but he gives that sound, but we'll feel that, okay, he have been cut it. Because even they know that and we know that. But still we say that, okay. Then once after the complete cutting, so when he was frequently asking the feedbacks and doing that particular haircut, at the last, can you say that, hey, this is not good? Can't you say that? Can you say that? Because already you've given the feedbacks in the intermediate. You only asked him to do all this stuff. And at the end of the day, you can't blame him. So it's not about the blame game, but it's all about the customer, what he required. He gives the frequent feedbacks, and then we'll be doing all this one. So this is the biggest advantage which you'll be getting it, which is the shorter feedback cycles. When we go to the agile, so we'll be having a huge discussion in this one. So we'll be talking more about this one. Okay, why we adopt to agile, you'll understand. Because if you wanted to know the advantages of the agile, or if you wanted to know what the features of the agile, so you need to know the disadvantages of all these particular things. Then you can understand about the agile advantages. Okay. Now we've seen the basic advantage, and if you see in this one, so these things are completely common. Only this particular step has been added for the prototype model, and then based upon the prototypes, it will rotate here and there, and then it will be going on. Now, what is a disadvantage of this one? What is the disadvantage which you will be facing on it?
Time consuming.
Time period.
Time consuming.
Extra
and
cost
rework.
related.
Okay, don't give.
Time
Yeah,
would be
please.
cost.
Please raise your hands. Don't give me the group answers. Go ahead, Deepthi.
Sir, it is a
Yeah, go ahead, Deepthi.
sorry, sir. It is a time-taking process, sir. Firstly, main
Absolutely.
disadvantage.
It is
And
fine.
next, we have to get the committed customers, sir.
Okay.
That means
What do you
if
mean
we
by
prepare a
committed customers?
prototype, of that particular customer needs, if he is not satisfied with that prototype, we don't know whether he is satisfied with the project or not. He will cancel the project. He may be cancel.
Because probably might have this one. I give you the practical example. See, what is the problem? So for an example, a customer comes and then asks for a particular website. Okay, actually speaking, I can't show the WhatsApp chats here, but recently we are working with one of the project. Okay, so that's a simple website designing which we wanted to do on it. Okay, on a banner we wanted to have purple and completely white with a purple background, or lavender color with the white combination. We wanted to develop this application. Now we presented back to the client. Client said, hey, lavender, I don't think it is really good. Can we go with the dark blue or navy blue? Which he said, okay, fine. Then we changed to the blue, and then we've shown to him. Then said, actually the blue is really, it was means our eyes are glaring because of this particular blue. Can you go for orange mixed with the yellow? Okay, then we have a combination for this particular orange to mix with yellow. Then we have been doing it. And when we presented back to him, he said, actually this is good, but what it is problem is this is looking like a funky. This is like not so professional. Okay, so then what you're looking for? Then can we go for light blue, like a sky color, which will be doing it? Okay, let's go for the light blue. Then once we presented the light blue, this is very dull, man. This is not so colorful. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's go with the purple. You see, what should be our expressions? You understand our pain, right? See, this is what the first thing which we have been presented to him. Based upon the different engagements, these things we have been shown to him. So he given these feedbacks. So now you see how much time it was taking, how much efforts it was wasting. And once again, he come back to the normal. This happened. See, that frustration, even though if you have been frustrated, we need to smile and say, oh, okay, sir, I'm fine. You are very choosy. I think you have a very good taste, sir. I think, yeah, this is how we need to deal with the clients, right? We can't say that, hey, stupid. So this is what we have been presented at the first. Why you wanted to come back again to this? So that is where we have been told you that you need to take this, right? We can't tell them. See, that's our inner feeling. But when you talk to him, he'll say that, yes, sir, exactly. The what you chosen is the right decision, sir. I think you have been taken one of the wonderful decision now. So now we can't do it. See, now this is the problem which it involves here. So this is how the time will be wasted, cost would be wasted, resource would be wasted, energy would be wasted, everything would be wasted in terms of this particular prototype model. Only biggest advantages, the customer satisfaction. People, you are there? Am I out? You're able to hear me, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes,
you're in
sir.
the line.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay. So now this is where you can understand this. Oh, this is how I'll be getting the feedbacks, and this is how I need to do this. So that's what you'll be understanding from this particular prototype model. And this is the advantage, and then this is the disadvantage. Three things we need to learn about it: how this work, what the advantages and disadvantages. Now, okay, before going to the next one, any questions for you on this prototype model or the waterfall model? Any questions?
No.
No, sir.
Okay, so then
No, sir.
now still our problems are not getting solved with this one. So now what we wanted to do is, next we wanted to go with the incremental model. Okay, what do you meant by incremental model? Mohanambika,
Agile model.
I lost. You can raise your hands.
Hello.
Yeah, Mohanambika, go ahead.
Incremental model, sir.
Yes.
Incremental model means first a set of requirements, they'll create a software, then they'll take another set of requirements, they develop a small set of software. After that, later they combine and they create the whole software.
Okay, Viresh.
Sir, incremental model is like a iterative process, like to develop a smaller software, small features in release to the customer version 1 control, and they will add some features, and then again and process requirement and designing coding, and along with previous feature also to deliver the version 2 control a piece of software. It is a iterative and incremental process. Like,
Okay, cool. Almost you have been covered. But see, guys, what I always suggest to you people is, don't buy means when you're learning something, don't buy hard the things. Try to understand the concept. Whatever the language you wanted to present, that really doesn't really matter. Understanding of the concept with an example, it will help you for a longer time. And see, for an example, now, Pina, anyways, I know that he'll be dividing you into the certain teams. Now you take that leverage to explain to your friends, hey, this is what incremental model. To me, I take this. See, now you might think that, hey, why this guy is giving all these stupid examples? He's wasting his time in the cars, or he's wasting the switch. But you remember what means, you know what? So that would be the examples. See, now, whenever you wanted to remember a prototype model, first example you'll be getting the haircut example. When you wanted to remember the SDLC, first example you'll be remembering that SDL, the construction of the house. So that how the construction of the house, so that would be generic, that would be a common sense. So according to that, the phases you can remember it better. According to this, you can remember the prototype model. So that is the reason I always try to give an example. And even when you go for an interview, the interviewer really love to understand. See, now what do you mean by an interview? They wanted to see that whether you understand the concept or not, right? So now when you're given with this particular examples, the people will think that, oh, this guy know the concept very well. So it's not that you need to take these stupid examples. You can take whatever the example you wanted to have it. You can take it and then you can present it that way. Probably that's how I learned it. So that's the reason. See, for any of the sessions, I'll never prepare and come back to the sessions. I'm not boasting about myself, but just I'm saying that I already told you, right? I'm a below average student. So there is no point of boasting about myself. Only what I'm trying to say, I remember these examples. So these examples will help me to quickly get this. When I talk about the haircut, immediately I got the prototype model. So this is how I start to remember the things. So how I learned it and how this worked for me, I'm just trying to give it to you. So don't try reading that one and then try to by heart on this, because you will learn that, but the time period which you will remember it is very less. So learn something, understand the concept, remember with an example, so that it can be replicated very fastly when you wanted to come it back. So that's how you should learn, so that it will be very easy for you to do it. Not only the testing, you wanted to do it anything. I told you, right? So this would be like a self enablement. So you need to, if you were trying to read something, learn something, so this is how you should learn, so that you can remember for a longer times. Okay, once again, I'm diverting from the topic. Let me come back to here. So now we wanted to talk about the incremental model, right? Now, when we go for this particular incremental model, you can see this particular diagram. Okay. Actually speaking, many of the people would be confused. See, even yesterday also, that's the reason I just given you, if you remember yesterday's picture, I given you with an incremental / iterative model. If you people remember that, so that is how I have been represented it. Yes. Now, yes. Let's take this particular image and then let's discuss about here, so that we can quickly understand this one. Okay, why we given it, you will understand this one. Now, what do you meant by this particular model is incremental model, right? See, why I'm trying to do this, because I know that I'll be scribble on this one, so I don't wanted to mess this thing. So that's the reason I was just trying to take on this one. Now, what it will be happening is, now you can see it, right? So previously what it was happening is, from the waterfall model, it comes to the incremental model. Why I inserted in the prototype model first and then I'm coming to incremental model, that you'll understand in the later part of our session. But let's follow what the session is going on. Now, what is waterfall model? So now what I wanted to deliver is here, you remember our waterfall model. I asked him to deliver me, okay, rather than Gmail, I'll say that CK mail. Okay, you know, right? Gmail, we will be using it. What are the features in the Gmail? We'll have inbox, box, outbox, trash, spam, compose mail. So these are the features which will be having it, right? Any mailbox. Now, what we will be doing in the waterfall model is, we take all the requirements. Actually, I should have asked this question, but I'm giving the answer directly. But still, I'm proceeding further with it. So now, what is the difference between the waterfall model and the incremental model? So that is what the basic thing I'm trying to explain you. In waterfall model, now I have been given you inbox, outbox, trash, spam, compose mail, everything as a requirement. Now the requirement was frozen, then it went for the analysis, then it went for designing, then it went for implementation or coding, then it went for testing, then it went for delivery and maintenance. This happens in the waterfall. Means all the requirements has been taken at one shot and they have been done with it. Now, because of this one, we have seen a lot of disadvantages because the time requirements can't be changed. These all blah, blah, blah things. As soon as it comes into the market, it was getting delayed. But now in an incremental model, what they will try to do is, in build one, they will take the facility of the inbox, or they'll take the inbox and the outbox. These two functionalities they have been taken. Only two functionalities. Now, the time would be reduced, right? Because there are 6 modules. Out of 6 modules, first they're taken as a build number 1, and they can go into the market. I told you right yesterday, very important thing, which is TTM, time to market. You will reach the market very quickly, right? So now I'll take these particular 2 modules, and these 2 modules I'll go for. Anyways, I have the requirement gathering, designing, and development, testing, and the like. Now this build is done. Now I'll be having build number 2. What I'll try to do in this build number 2, I'll bring trash and spam. So now in the build number 1, the build number 2 will includes that it have inbox plus outbox from the build number 1. Build number 2, it have trash and then spam. So then these particular 2 things would be developed with this one. So with this trash, spam, design, means once again requirement gathering, analysis, design, development, testing, and implementation, means going to the live. So now in build number 3, I'll have compose mail and I'll be having the outbox. So now build number 3, let's assume that these 2 functionalities will come, plus it will have the build 2 functionalities also, means which is inbox, outbox, trash, spam, everything would be there. So build 3 consists of build 2 plus I have this compose mail plus outbox. Once again, it will go for requirement gathering, analysis, design, testing, and then implementation. Now, what is the difference between this? Now you can understand, right? In the waterfall model, I have taken every requirement, all the requirements, and then I started to develop, which it was taking a lot of time to come to the market. But whereas this particular incremental model, what I have did is, so now I have been taken this particular build. Now here, if you see here, what it was happening is, I complete the build number 1, I'll go to the market. Now I'll come to the next, I'll do this one, and then I'll come to the market. And build number 3, I do this one and come to the market. So in this one, I'll be having all the functionalities and all the features. See, that is what the importance of time to market. Now, you know, I give you one of the strategy. If you means probably if you people using AHA, probably many people will be using it, and some people, AHA is an OTT channel. In 2019, we had this bad hit of Corona, right? Till that particular point of time, we do have, previously also we have the OTT channels. That particular OTT channels, what it happens is, we have very popular, only Amazon, Netflix, these particular channels are there. But not all the other channels we do have. Now, what it happened is, just give me 1 second, please, 1 second. I'm sorry, guys, small distraction for me. Okay, so now you just imagine, okay, coming back to the example of where we're talking on, yeah.
AHA OTT.
Yeah, AHA OTT, right? So now before that, we have lot of channels out there. Now what this guy has been done, you see the case study of AHA. That guy has been released very quickly when it is in Corona time. He released because he's seen the business opportunity that people are not coming outside, the people are not using the cinema theaters. So then he wanted to introduce this one and he pushed that one immediately. You know what? That's the means if you are the users of the first version of AHA, that's, you will feel that this is the stupidest app which I have been used, because by that time Netflix was established, Prime was established, and it was very stable and it is working very fine. But now when we started to use AHA, lot of bugs. The profile was not working. and after subscription, it was not showing. The movies will not play. The movies will struck. All these issues. But now, if you see here, we have a lot of other marketers also. Means Z, Sony Live, all other channels. Means OTT channels are there. Many OTT channels are there, right? Even though it is in a local channel, local OTT platform, it earned more user base than any other OTT platforms. So this stands in third or fourth, because we have Netflix, Amazon, Hotstar, now Hotstar with the Geo, right? So at the time Geo was not there. So then so it was in the top 5. It was placed because he entered into the market. Now you see the experience of the application. It is like a high 5. So he entered into the market when it is needed. He entered and he created that user base, and he has been given it for 1 rupee and these particular subscriptions and all. Once he had the user base, now he increased it to 450, 500, 999, and he come back once again for 360, or now it's 450. You see the strategies, right? See, when it need to be entered into the market, at that time you need to enter. And after that, there are, you see now OTT platforms, there are more than 150 OTT platforms in India now. 150 OTT platforms. See, now getting into that particular tough competition, getting that particular users, that is what very important. So now this is the strategy he has used now, right? So he just came into the market with a minimum thing, and these have a lot of bugs, issues in everything. Then slowly he added that particular features in everything. Now he made it very stable, and it is very now active and then working properly. So this is how the incremental model helped the business. So the basic advantage what it was happening when compared to the waterfall model is, waterfall model will takes all these particular things and give it a time to market would be increased. But whereas this particular thing, it'll decrease the time to market. First come into the market and then slowly make that particular bugs fixings and everything, or with the less functionalities. Slowly, even Swiggy also done the same pattern. Same case today, Swiggy Genie. All these things will be giving it same. Even you can take the example of the Paytm. Paytm has been, so now the first version of the Paytm and the now what the version of the Paytm. So now anyways, don't see the current situation of the Paytm, but the applications and the features what they have been added. Whatever you wanted to do, you can do everything in this. Electricity bill payment, railway ticket booking, bus ticket booking, or cinema theaters booking, whatever you wanted, you can do it. Means every time they wanted to add new feature, new feature, new feature. First you go into the market, create the user base, and then add the new features. So that's how this incremental model. Many of the companies are still working with this incremental model. Many more.
But Chris, small
Yeah.
doubt. By the time, actually, first they'll release the basic, the application with the basic features. That's what I understand.
Absolutely.
But by the time they come up with the new features, the customers would have too much negativity on the app. That's, I mean, how do they cope up?
See, yeah, absolutely. Now, giving you the same examples of AHA, right? When
Yes.
now they have been released one basic version, I have the failure issues. Now, immediately they have been fixed up in the next version itself. See,
Right.
you need to
But
understand
what
one
I
point.
felt, yeah.
I'll give you a small example. Why I used to come for AHA, and why I see now, I'm as a customer. What I think now, I have Amazon Prime, and I have Netflix and AHA. What is the strategy
Maybe
of AHA?
interesting content.
Not interesting content, new contents. Every Friday he used to release new movie. Every Friday.
That's how he attracts customers.
Now here Netflix and Amazon, they don't have that strategy. They will release monthly once or twice. But this guy aggressively started to release every Friday one new movie or two new movies. So what the customer see, complete week the people will work, and then they wanted to have an entertainment on Friday night. So that he made that particular cash. One that business logic, it changed the complete people to attract for it. Even though that is a buggy application, the people used to come to this. Now it became a trend for every OTT that they will be releasing on the Fridays.
Okay.
And he didn't follow
Yeah.
a new trend. See, usually the cinemas, it will be in, especially in South India, we used to have this particular movies on Fridays because all the people, or Saturdays or Sundays, it will, almost all the movies will release on festivals or on the weekends and Saturdays because it will have lot of box office collections. Same way he implemented in the OTT also, which it worked for him. Then all OTTs are also adopted. Now you see every Friday they'll be getting 11 to 15 movies across all the channels only on Fridays, or some people will release on Saturdays because Fridays and Saturdays already fully the movies will be watched. So then they will be released on Sunday.
Yeah,
But they will
that
not
makes
release the movies
sense.
on the weekdays. So these are all the
Yes.
strategies. So how to attract the customer, even though they are giving a stupid platform, but they wanted to give what the customer wants. Then it shines. See, there are other companies also try to implement it, but it failed. Some logic it should be there when you're coming into the market and attract the clients or the customers. It's
Yes.
not a joke, but
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Thank you.
sure. So now, any other questions on this incremental model?
What are these beta versions then? Some people call it as beta version.
Don't worry about it. So there is a question for you all people. So you'll get it when we go for this one. So now
Yeah,
Sir, I
here you
have
will
one
get
question.
version, release, beta versions, or patches. So this there is one particular question is there. When we go for the manual testing concepts, there we start to ask what is a patch, what is a version, what is a release, what is a alpha version or a beta version. These all things will be there. We'll discuss there. Okay, I
Yeah, hi
reserve
Chris,
this.
I have one doubt.
Hmm.
Hello.
Yes. Go
Yeah, hi
ahead.
Chris.
Yes, yes.
Like according to requirements, according to requirements, we'll have to like divide the modules, right? Or it can be modules can be dependent on other modules.
See, now that is what you need to be cautious. So when you are means when you are dividing these particular modules, if it is a dependent module, you shouldn't divide in that way. Then it should come into one build.
Yes. So
So
it
you
should
need
not
to
be integrated with any other builds.
absolutely. So now whatever the modules you are releasing, it should be independent, and it will be done. See, now for an example, now I wanted to release a base model without subscription. If I release, can I release that one into the market? Yeah, I wanted to release something into the market. So without subscription, I just wanted to give it into the market. Probably that might be also one of the strategy, but still that won't works. You should have basic login and basic. That is what skeleton is wanted to. We wanted to give. First they give the skeleton, and then they wanted to add the flush, and they wanted to add the organs, skin, or the layers and everything that they want.
I
Yeah.
have a doubt. Whether
Okay,
this
one by
build
one, one
one
by one.
to
Yeah.
the
Go
build
ahead.
one, build two, build three are parallelly they will go, or one by one after the other it will come.
See, Monam, that is what the next
Development.
question which I'm going to ask you. You will understand when I go for the iterative model. Okay.
Okay.
But here I specifically said this one. So if you have been listen carefully, I said this build one completes, then it starts with the build two, then it completes, then I'll come to the build three. I specifically said that. So because these all things are not parallel, this is sequential. Okay, sequentially this will be developed. Now when you go for the iterative model, these things you can see their particular differences. See, now first waterfall, from the waterfall you'll be getting this particular incremental model. Okay, now okay, before going to that one, any other questions? So the people raised hand for their questions or the answers.
yeah, Krish, I have one thing just for clarification. The waterfall means the whole requirement we are gathering and the whole project we are releasing at the end of the time. But iteration means we are gathering the whole requirement and dividing the requirement into small projects, and each project we are working and we are releasing it.
Don't
That
say it
is
as a project. You can say that requirements will be gathered and then we'll be releasing it as a build wise. So version means we have a difference between a build version and this all. But however, at this point of time, what you can understand is in waterfall, if I have 10 requirements, all 10 requirements need to be delivered at one shot. But whereas in the incremental, I can divide these 10 requirements into 5 builds. Each requirement will have 2 requirements. I'll pack that particular 2 and then I'll release into the market. That's the basic
Okay.
difference between incremental and waterfall.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Viresh, you have question or you wanted to answer?
No, sir, nothing, sir.
Khalil?
Yeah, no.
Okay, fine. So then let me take you for the next one. So next one is, I'll just try to go with this iterative model. Actually, somewhere else the picture. I used to get that picture. I don't know whether it is in a different one. That picture gives you a very good example. Actually, if you show that picture, that would be very easy for you to get understand. I was just checking for that picture. Okay, let me park that particular iterative for the later phase, so that I'll keep that one in middle of this prototype and incremental, and then I'll try to explain that. I'm not able to identify quickly here the image. If I show that image, so that it is very easy for you to understand why we talked about prototype and then why we talk about incremental and then we are talking about this iterative model. Okay, I'll just look and then I'll present it to you tomorrow. Okay, let me take now next models what we have. Now let me take the RAD model. Okay, now what do you mean by RAD model? What do you mean by RAD model? Raise your
Different
hand.
modules developed and tested parallelly, and they'll be clubbed all together later. I mean, this actually gives the time will be drastically reduced with that, because parallelly many people will be working on different modules, but at the same time it gives the issues, because when we club different modules from different teams, that would create a lot of bugs, Chris.
Cool. So that would be one of the examples so which we wanted to understand on this one. So let me pull out this. See, what is RAD model? The expansion of the RAD, rapid development application. Rapid application development model. So now here, if you see here, what is the basic difference between this model and this model? Once we understand this one, you can try to do it. Now what I'll try to do is, I have a testing team, development team. So now I have 10 developers and I have 5 testers for a project. The same project which I'll take the same CKML. Okay. Now let's take that CKML. I have inbox, outbox, compose mail, outbox, and spam and hash. I have these particular things. Now what I'll try to do here, I'll be coming it with the builds, right? Build 1, build 2, build 3. Now here what I'll try to do is, now I have, means I need to develop 6 things, right? Now what I'll try to do is, I'll create the RAD teams. What is this particular RAD team? The name itself, it was saying that rapid application development. Rapid means quickly. So now what I'll try to do, rapid means, yeah, fast. So now here I take 3 developers, 1 tester. Here I take 4 developers. Based on complexity, I take 2 testers. And here I take another 3 testers, sorry, 3 developers and 2 testers. So now the same team, 10, 5. In waterfall, what I used to do, I used all these particular people for all the requirements. Now what I created is I distributed this particular team members like this. Hey, you two means you four people are the in charge and accountability for this inbox and outbox. You two are in charge for this particular compose mail and outbox, and this is for trash and the spam. We created 3 different teams. Now these guys will develop this all, these guys will develop this all, these guys will develop this all. So now this is what you will be seeing it. So now this is the module 1, module 2, module 3. Now they will be doing it all. So now here you don't need to worry about what is this business modeling, data modeling, process modeling, application generation, testing, turnout. The terminology differs, but it exactly you can understand in such a, there is a hairline differences are there, but we are not using this one, but at least you need to understand the same pattern that, hey, here we'll be having the requirement gathering, analysis, designing, implementation, testing, and releasing it. Same phases. Now, if you see here, this is module 1, module 2, module 3, means the same thing. Inbox and outbox, and here the compose mail and the outbox, and then here I have the trash and spam. 3 teams, they work together and they will give the output. Now here I have the output and here I have the output. Now what I'll try to do is, at last I wanted to merge all this particular output at one shot and release this one into the market. So this is how the RAD model works. Now you see it. So from the waterfall model, it comes to the incremental model. Now from the incremental model, we are going for the RAD model. Now why you tell me why what is the difference between the RAD model and the incremental model?
It is almost the same.
Almost all similar only, right? Then why we need to have 2 different models?
But
No, the first
time to market was
okay.
very much.
See, the problem here, once again, you need to clearly understand. Actually, previously you asked one of the question, we specifically talked about it. What we talked, build 1 will complete, then it will come to the build 2. Build 2 complete, then it will come to the build 3. But here what it happens, everything will start parallel. Here this is sequential. Here it is parallel. See, now you seen it, right? From the waterfall, how it is changing the phase of the waterfall from waterfall to the incremental, and from the incremental, how it go for the RAD. See, industry tried many experiments. And what is the biggest problem for this one is when you try to merge all or integrate all these particular outputs. So now this is the disadvantage of this. Advantage, quickly we can develop something when it compared to this. The time is saved, cost is saved. But what, because time is directly proportional to the cost, the time, and if time saved, cost saved. But here what the biggest disadvantage which we have been found it is, we have this particular Big Bang approach. What is Big Bang approach or Big Bang theory? So now our Earth or any particular galaxy or the Milky Way, how it has been formed, collision of the different bodies, it forms into this particular, means collision of all the things, means the comments, but everything it has been means formed our Milky Way galaxy or the solar system, right? The same way, now when we have merging all these particular modules at one shot, merging of all these particular modules at one shot, it gives you a lot of bugs, lot of integrational issues, because this guy has been developed something. See, if it need to work means, now if I compose a mail and I have been sent, it should comes in the output box, right? Now if I don't have the proper integration between this, it will not work, right? Now when I get an inbox mail, so now whether even it can go for the trash, or if I delete it, then it will go for this, means if I deleted that inbox mail, it will go for trash. Every integration should be properly there, right? Because this stream has been done separately, this stream separately, this stream separately. When I'm start to integrate this all, it used to take a lot of time, lot of cost. So now the major intention to adopt for this one is to decrease the time and cost. In the integration, we are getting a lot of time and cost because of a lot of bugs, integrational bugs. So that's where this particular model also not able to sustain for a very longer time. I'm telling you, right? The IT industry has been done multiple experiments, but still it was not able to come out of this. So that's how, and the basic differences between the waterfall and the incremental model you understood. Now the basic difference between the incremental model and then this particular RAD model, this is the problem. So that's how it differed from one model to another model. And you need to know, see, now I told you, right, how These all three things you need to know how this works and the advantages and disadvantages. This is what you need to understand. Now, when you come to the current state, then you'll understand, oh, these all things are having the advantages here, right? So that's how this complete evolution of this particular SDLC models has been changed. However, so interestingly, we will be discussing about the further models. We have the further models. What are the further models we have? We'll be talking about the iterative model and the differences between the iterative and the prototype, and then how this can be integrated with this incremental and then RAD, and then we'll go for the V model, and then the most important thing which it will comes for the agile model. So we will talk about the agile model, and then we will close about this particular SDLC models, and then we will be jumping into the manual testing concepts. Okay, let's see that. So what we are going to cover, so it is not that it is a race for us to complete the things. Our intention is everyone should understand, as we selected the option number 2. So our intention is not to complete the course at all. So our intention is to make sure that everyone should understand these concepts clearly. So now you should remember, so whenever we talk about the prototype, we should come up with an example haircut. Whenever we remember with the incremental, we need to come up with the AHA example. Whenever you come up with this particular RAD model, compare this particular RAD model with this particular actually usually what we do is we can do the fast and furious examples for this RAD model, but however I don't want it to drag, but in comparison with the incremental model you can understand. Okay, so that's it for today. So for on this particular SDLC models, tomorrow we'll be getting started with this particular uh, iterative models, and then V model, and then we'll go for the agile models. So these all are theoretical, but these are really very important. So when you wanted to, because every model, the testing phase is there. You need to first understand, if you join in any organization, first you need to know, hey, what SDLC model they are using there. So that's the first thing which you need to understand. According to that, then you can go ahead with your testing approaches. Okay, that's it for today, and thank you so much. Have a great day, and
Thank you,
for
sir.
tomorrow, prepare these models. Once again, I'm saying it: V model, agile model, and iterative model. Prepare well and come back to the session, because agile videos, if you see it,